roast beef. Treat yourself to our juicy jumbo chicken hot dogs and beef hot dogs. Top it all off with the delicate flavors of smoked turkey breast and our premium whole turkey, all halal certified for your trust. Delivered to you by Chill Foods, Premium Deli and Meats, excellence in every bite.
The power. To shatter the strongest. Conquer the indestructible with Ronex's collection of angle grinders.
Hello, good night, everyone.
Hey.
Welcome to another episode of Breaking Barriers, live on IBN. I'm Richard Jaggers, and with me is Uncle Nazib.
Assalamu alaikum and good night, everyone. Not so rainy tonight. And we have to find out to make sure everybody is hearing us loud and clear on your on whatever service provider you have, whether it be Flow, Digicel, what other
Blink Digital TV too? Blink.
What player, whatsoever you're using, just let us know if you're having any problems early so we can rectify it, because tonight is going to have real action. Real action. It have so much, you have nothing, it look like we won't have nothing to talk about but the PNM now. Because the UNC doing what they had to do, and the PNM just doing what they're supposed to do. But let's get cracking. So guys, let's move with the first picture. It has a gentleman here that I just want to hail out quickly. Yes, this man. You see this man? Mr. Khan? Any water pump, any sort of small appliance, large pumps, small pumps, anytime we go there, whether he's working or not, he stops what he's doing and he comes and attends to us swiftly. If we want a unit just to use, he also lends us it. So, Mr. Khan, I salute you. Thank you very much for your service, sir. And we will continue to support you. And one more picture. I have a picture here with two goats of football. That when they were small. The one on the left is Ronaldo, and the one on the right is Messi. That is when they were very young. Watch them good. Yeah? They look like Ronaldo and Messi.
Yeah.
That is my two grandkids here. Yesterday was their final day of sports. So they collected the medals and they're happy like papi. Test starting tomorrow. So fellas, test tomorrow. Okay, we get that out of the way now. So let's rumble. Richard, what we starting with?
Oh God, what is going on in your PNM party election, boy?
Boy, I don't know.
What kind of chaos on chaos on chaos? First of all. Big internal election, the greatest party in the Western Hemisphere, And 7,000 people come out, boy?
I'm telling you, over 100,000 registered voters.
And we only get 7,000 to come out, boy?
I mean, the PNM in shambles.
Shambles? The PNM, let me tell you, the PNM is nothing more than a pickup side now, boy.
You see what happened to it? It have backstabbing and backbiting and whatsoever you could bite in, it have inside there right now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to go back and check the archives to see who were the people who supported Stuart Young and who were the persons who supported Penny, and see if they still, how much of them there.
Right.
Because that is where the bacchanal is.
But what I'm trying to get over is out of, first of all, you're the oldest party in the country, right? You get built from scratch by Eric Williams, it crumbled. You get built from scratch by Manning.
Yeah.
And you're crumbling again, boy, you're ashamed. That party with 7,000 people come out and vote. 7,000 people come out and vote. And the day of election, man complaining, it's a no ballot for him to vote in.
The list tainted.
I hear people bawling, well, allegedly something about a different list, one place and next. Some people say how they had to bring ballots from one area to another area the day of election. What kind of going on with that, boy?
Boy.
And how they take so long to count that? Them take longer to count that than the national election.
They count 41 constituencies and they had to go over for next day to check 7,000 votes.
To check just 7,000 votes, boy.
That is how the PNM does work. So you could imagine the PNM public servants how this be working. You could imagine that?
Nah, it's best them pack up and go home, man. Give the country a chance to go.
Boy.
Watch, man. 7,000 people come out and vote. And your boy, Foster Cummins, had the gall to say, hear what he say. He said, Foster Cummins said, that it's okay only 7,000 people come out because they're in opposition. It's okay only 7,000 people, look at it, unfazed by low voter turnout. Yeah, I think I have a picture of him too, eh? Let me see. Let's see if we have it here. No, I'm not seeing it on the listing. But, so you're unfazed. He says 7,000 is okay because they're in opposition. 7,000 is okay because the political leader wasn't contesting wasn't a contested seat. But I don't know if he wake up or something, but the UNC was in opposition last internal.
And they had a larger turnout than them.
The UNC was in opposition last internal, and the political leader seat was not contested in the last internal, and the UNC had more than 15,000 people come out and vote.
Boy, they're only looking at excuses. And you see right now, what's have Cummins up a gum tree?
Oh God, thanks for reminding me. I was putting together a list. I watched what's in Parliament. Was it Monday night? Tuesday morning.
Yeah,
Monday night, Tuesday morning. And oh God, boy, what's licks them, Yeah. What's whole Foster over his knee.
Yes.
And beat him, like a schoolboy,
Take out the pampers and lash him, boy.
What's light him up, boy? Talk, boy. You had to call that man. 100 watts is the most you could go. You had to call that man 100 watts,
Nobody think about
Deal with Foster.
While you're talking about watts, I had to listen in amazement to Marvin Gonzalez. Marvin Gonzalez criticizing Alexander.
You call him Duncy.
Yeah. And
shameful, eh?
And he was the Duncy's minister when he talked about he don't know if a line is broken, it is affect pressure.
Yeah.
That is dunce.
Yeah.
If that is not dunce, well, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And he opening his mouth, the dunces of the dunce. Boy,
back to the video. Oh, I have it, I want to send them it. I'll get during the break. I'll finish up my list during the break. But oh God, yeah, what's light them up? And you're correct. Now I saw what Alexander said, Minister Alexander that is, said, to lead Marvin Gonzalez to say that he's Duncy. And I don't agree. I don't find Alexander did anything Duncy or anything close to that. But Marvin had no right, was out of place, out of pocket, to even try to insinuate that. Especially in circumstances, as you correctly say, especially in circumstances where Marvin had the gall to tell people, tighten your belt, go to the movies less.
Eat macaroni pie once a month.
Yeah, you know, kind of madness and anyway, but Alexander return fire, yeah?
I see he come back like a boomerang.
He return fire. Yeah, he come back. What does he say, boy? He said they used to call Marvin.
Wouldn't.
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 He wouldn't come to work. He wouldn't do a report. He wouldn't do a station visit. He just wouldn't do anything. Boy.
You see, when you're a coconut son, you have to cool yourself.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Matter of fact, guys, the last photo that I sent, you have it up yet? The last one I sent just before the show starts. You know, they want to say, there we go. This is from the office of the leader of the opposition. Look at the letterhead. Penelope A. Beckles, MP, Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, leader of the opposition. Now, as we know, as we've talked about on this show, this is a constitutional post, leader of the opposition, Penelope Beckles. So naturally, she's supposed to sign it.
Right.
Let me see who signed it. Let me see who signed. Go ahead. Last page of the letter. Let me see who signed it.
Don't tell me his comments, you know. Marvin Gonzalez, opposition chief whip.
Oh, God.
And they can, if it's one thing I like about them, they had to put UNC in anything they're doing, you know.
Yeah.
And look, we get it twice.
No, but watch him, eh? He is the opposition chief whip. And he's sending letter on behalf of the opposition leader. I find you out of play. First of all, what is really going on in PNM? Them have an opposition leader or acting opposition leader or Marvin acting or them sharing the position as co-opposition leader?
They don't know. They don't know who is the leader right now in that party.
All right.
Opposition, they don't know.
Because
Because you don't even hear Beckles.
Yeah, you know what's going on. And then now you have man Tiffin, she's stationary, boy. Man take she ministry appointed, she parliamentary appointed, letterhead. And put his, like kind of, he didn't sign for the honorable.
Right, you're supposed to put a little 4.
He didn't sign for, eh? He signed the letter, he come. But in all honesty, in all fairness, so I raised 2
that
points.
That just from before. That is not being a kind of dunce too.
No, get you. I cannot unsee, yeah. Come like you teach somebody homework and you forget to scratch off their name from the top end. Yeah. No, I don't understand that kind of ridiculousness, that foolishness, man. Because he has opposition chief whip. He have his own letterhead, his own stationery. What I don't understand. What was the point? Is it that he want to be opposition leader? He feel he's opposition leader?
Nobody jealous. Let me tell you why they're jealous.
But they want to imply and infer that the Minister of Public Utilities.
That is where I was coming from.
They want to infer that he is the Honorable MP for Kuva South, Barry Padarat MP, is de facto, they call him, de facto Prime Minister. Listen, fellas, if all you find the man fit for Prime Minister, if all you find the man looking like a Prime Minister, we'll say that now. We'll say that.
No, well, Barry mashing up Gonzalez as chief whip.
Oh, God, left, right, and center, boy.
Yeah, nah, that come like a Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman, and we in the 7th round. So you know what's going on? By the 8th round, he going to get knocked down.
All right, I take your word for it.
That is the 8th round because Muhammad Ali knocked down Foreman in the 8th round.
Nah, watch me. I ain't feeling sorry for them.
Me feeling sorry for none of them.
You remember the days when Imbert used to go in Parliament and say, I'm not answering that?
Yeah.
I have heard the question, I'm not answering that. Take that. We not answering that question. Remember when Reginald Armour and Faris Al-Rawi went in Parliament and said, we're not releasing the lawyers' names and fees? Remember when they went in Parliament and say, remember, about Rowley? Every press conference, he had to buff somebody.
Yeah.
He had to buff a reporter. Look at it. Look at what we have now. We have accountability, figures, proper representation, and so on. So anyway, all the way to the point where we finally get some action on the foreign exchange issue. We finally get some action.
Well, let's see. We have to move swiftly with that. So, who gonna release us from that knee on our neck that they had on us?
Figuratively speaking.
Yes.
Figuratively speaking. Well, first of all, for those of, well, actually, no, wait, we leave out the Election Supervisory Committee, the results. Let me just show it a little bit. Guys, there we go. This is the official, they take a day and a half to count this, I want you to watch social media officer. Stop there, don't go away. Social media officer, Simon de Nobrega, he's an MP. Dominic Romaine, he's also an MP. Two of them square off for this position. They are current MPs in the PNM. But, and look at that kind of results now, boy.
I'm telling you, boy.
But you know who come in, you know who go in. Yeah, Simon, they no bring out. Watch yourself. Dominic Romaine might topple him over. Or I don't know I don't know how the opposition leader feel about Dominic Romaine contesting against his slate, infighting.
The next person I'm looking at is Vice Chairman, Amy Brown.
Right,
Now,
tell me.
I had a lot of respect for Amy Brown.
Right.
You see, when Amy Brown put his hat in the ring and he said going up for Diego Martin West,
All right.
that was Rowley's seat. And I don't know if they both him up and tell him, hey, you can't get a seat, you know.
Yeah, we want to put that DJ
And they put the veins, right? That is one. He didn't say a thing. He just back off and gone. He has stand his ground. He could have gone and still go for a screening.
Yeah.
If they don't want you, they don't want you.
Yeah.
So that shows he's coward.
Right. But that's not. They have this upside. I just want to make one more point and they can pull it down. Watch Chairman Marvin Gonzalez, 4,000 and change. And then we have an alley in there, get 2,000 and change. Always remember, Marvin Gonzalez only get 4,000 votes in the whole country.
Yeah.
Always remember that. All of PNM, only 4,300, say 4,400 people come out and vote for Marvin Gonzalez. When he starts to collect licks, well, you say he done getting licks. As the licks continues in Parliament, always remember that man scraped by to become chairman. He'll come back to us now.
Anna MP.
All right, that was the point. Anna MP. He only there, he and Brian Manning. They only there 2 maxi load again.
Yeah.
2 maxi load again, and then would have be outside Parliament, you know.
Long time.
Anyway, let's go now to the other side. Hilaire out. So we finally have some movement on the foreign exchange issue. For years, people have been crying, and last year we dubbed it the foreign exchange crisis. Finally, Governor of Central Bank now has been fired. Sources told Express government took this decision because Hilaire was not cooperating with providing information, in particular regarding ongoing foreign exchange crisis, among other reasons. And of course, just go to Hawaii replaces Hilaire, just so that we can finish up the story. For those of you who do not know, it was official as of, I think, 3:30 this afternoon.
Taking up duties tomorrow.
Yes. Guys, we have it. Hawaii replaces Hilaire on the listing. There we go.
There he is.
Larry Hawaii, former Minister of Finance, is now the new Governor of Central Bank. He got his instrument, I think, 3:30 today. And he has said in this interview that you're seeing just a picture of, he will be taking up duties tomorrow and, of course, dealing with the foreign exchange crisis. He'll come back to me now. So for those of you who do not know, a serious issue in this country is the lack of oversight and policies or an enforcement of policies, I should say, relative to foreign exchange control in this country. It's something I know about because of an ongoing case that I have, but not talking about the case. Generally speaking, the central bank has overarching and umbrella policies over all bank transactions, the limit for loans, mortgages, etc. And of course, central bank controls the foreign exchange distribution in the country to an extent. And there are certain policies, guidelines, regulations in how that foreign exchange is distributed. For example, if a bank has more customers, then they should ultimately get more foreign exchange. And a bank would, right, there's a policy that says that. So now we have a situation where the government of the past felt protected because the central bank governor, according to that headline, kept certain information to himself. In fact, there were certain headlines where the governor of central bank allegedly provided information. No, that was the Exim Bank. Exim Bank provided information to the then Minister of Finance regarding certain people's activities who applied for foreign exchange and so on. And now we have a situation where that shield, that protective layer that the state used to rely on has now been removed. And now we have former Minister of Finance Larry Hawaii has come in and said, I'm taking up business and action from tomorrow, and I'm going to resolve this foreign exchange crisis issue. This is something everybody feels. Your credit card getting slashed, the limit on your credit card. So the little thing you're buying on Temu, on Shein, on Amazon, they want to take that away. If you have to pay for your Netflix account, you're paying with the US side of your card. They wanted to take that away. All of those issues, which everybody understands. I'm not talking about the big businessman who asking for 5,000 US to buy goods or anything.
All we want is a little 3,000.
Look at this, right? So we have somebody is on the ball now saying, listen, we're going to resolve these foreign exchange issues. So I'm happy to see that, and I'm happy to see it happening so fast, because let me explain this from a legal standpoint. Governor Hilaire had a year and a half, roughly, on his contract remaining. He is entitled to, I don't know if he will, I've not advised the gentleman, I will not brief him, he's entitled to perhaps bring a case.
Right.
Right. This government, by firing him so early, has said, I care more about the people who need foreign exchange now than I care about that issue, that case that might come up later. I care more about the people and the citizens today than I care what that man might do, because he is one man. He is one man, and he is not a law unto himself. That position is not a law unto itself. I care more about the citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. I care more about accountability. I care more about transparency. I care more about good governance. And therefore, I promised on the campaign trail to sort out foreign exchange, and I'm going to deliver, even if it is going to cost me a year and a half of that man's salary. I am going to deliver on that promise, because I understand there are people in need of forex now, today. Businesses are crashing, crumbling, can't pay for goods on the port and so on, because I need foreign exchange now, today. And this government has this move is a move of strength, because it tells us as a nation that this government cares more about us than them.
Well said, well said. I could not have said it better. Now, what next year you're moving on to?
Well, they had the other one that was terminated today. That's your boy. But if you want to take the break and then we deal with that,
yes,
or we go straight into it.
Well, this is a short one. We could probably go into that.
All right.
And then take the break. What do you think?
I was looking into, I don't like to spend too much time on the PNM and their failures there, because it's so much things they could talk about. But I saw, because I was looking for information on the election, and I saw that there was supposed to be a press conference today at 10 a.m. And they like to talk about how the government's post-cabinet press conferences start late and so on. Well, as a post-cabinet press conference, it could only start post-cabinet.
Right.
But I think a press conference was supposed to take place today at 10 a.m. And I'm not seeing, I don't know if it happened. You know if it happened? I don't know if it didn't happen at 10. Like, I went
Who was
online.
going to speak? Which one of the opposition?
Which one of the opposition leader?
Yeah, was going to speak.
Look, Uncle saying it had no press conference. But there seems to have no link for the press conference. I cannot confirm if it happened or it didn't happen. But this is a small sample of comments by PNM in relation to the press conference. They're not serious. Reading from the comments here, different day, same nonsense, and so on. So I don't know, guys. If you all know if it had the press conference, didn't have it. But I want to say, they want to comment on the post-cabinet, how to start later and so on, and they don't even have the press conferences. But anyway, you did say let's deal with this other issue.
Yeah.
Guys, you have Holiday fired. Let's get that up. We talked about this gentleman before on the show. Bring him all the way in from Barbados.
Yes.
Fatten his salary.
But what were his... Oh, here we have Mr. G1 Joseph. I knew Mr. Joseph in my days at WASA. Mm-hmm. A very affable person. All the years service. He has just since I was there, and even now I don't think anybody has anything bad to say about him.
Right.
So I think he's a good fit. So let's wait and see now. He just had to prove himself.
Right.
He has been there for over 15 years. And he knows what they need to do to get WASA up and going, because if he was 9 years on the PNM, and PNM so good, he must learn something good to bring across now. He must learn something.
Yeah, and I think there were two other people I just heard it in the news as I was coming in. 2 other people were elevated from junior positions to senior positions and so on. So in short, for those of you who did not get a chance to see the news today, Halliday, which is not a Trinidadian, an outsider, what's his nationality again?
Bajan.
No, I know he came from Barbados, but he's not Bajan. I think he's a small islander, eh?
Yeah.
He's not Bajan. He was in Barbados at the time that we hired him here, but I don't think he's Bajan. But I could be wrong. But we brought him over from Barbados and gave him one of the fattest salaries, 100,000 and change per month. And we were paying him in US, right? Yes, I think we did say that. Paying him in US at a time when foreign exchange is critically low. I think new estimates say that we only have foreign exchange for 7 months, and with the war and the issues that are going on, that is a serious concern that we need to address our minds to. But anyway, so give him one of the fattest salaries, this non-national, and tell him fix WASA. Fix WASA. And what was his solution?
I hear no difference. I see
More
no
people
difference.
get fat salaries, elevated.
Nothing.
Madness.
But what we also want to do maybe tonight when callers call in from south or parts that were deprived of water for the last 9.5 years, let us know if your water supply has increased, because I have seen an increase in my water supply, but I don't want to call my area. Because you know when here you get in water, next thing you know they cut it down.
No, right.
So I ain't going to say what area and thing, right?
Right.
But it has improved.
So that CEO has been fired, and Jivan Joseph has been tipped, or he received an instrument already.
Yeah, I think he's already been.
And as well as 2 other persons have elevated. I can't remember their names. I can't remember to what post. But for those of you who may be thinking, well, what's going on with WASA, people losing their jobs and stuff. Again, on the way here, I listened to a brief interview where the chairman of WASA, Attorney at Law, Mr. Babwa, indicated that this restructuring, I don't know if you call it a restructuring, or this exercise only affected 10 persons of high-level rank, executive-level rank, with inflated salaries. And we knew that was going to happen.
Right.
Because they told us that. They told us that WASA is top-heavy. They told us that it needs restructuring in the sense that the middle and lower workers will not lose their jobs. In fact, there will be a hiring and...
I think they just went back to the substantive.
Right, that's it. That's when the government ripped up the transformation plan. Right. So the people went back to the substantive. But I'm saying no, the UNC's plan to fix water is to reorganize WASA and make it less top-heavy. So you're going to see people leaving WASA, but only the top upper echelons, the 1% of the higher 1%, 5%, 6%, you could say the person's receiving the fattest salaries in WASA. So this is a situation like that, where somebody receiving an inflated salary of $100,000 and change, and that's why that person is going home, all right? You must get value for your money if you're CEO and people still complaining. CEO of WASA and people still complaining about lack of water.
Yeah,
you can be getting $100,000.
No, you got to take a cut in salary.
Yeah, cut tail in the road.
Right. So, guys, let's take our first break and then we'll come back, please.
Introducing the finest selection from premium deli and meats. Savor the bold flavors of beef salami, beef pepperoni, and chicken ham. Indulge in our diced beef bacon and perfectly sliced beef bacon. Explore the rich taste of smoked beef and tender roast beef. Treat yourself to our juicy jumbo chicken hot dogs and beef hot dogs. Top it all off with the delicate flavors of smoked turkey breast and our premium whole turkey, all halal certified for your trust. Delivered to you by Chill Foods, premium deli and meats, excellence in every bite.
The power. To shatter the strongest. Conquer the indestructible with Ronex's collection of angle grinders.
Chic Leisure Limited, making life easier. Our renowned great tasting vermicelli comes pre-cut in regular and parch, packaged to make preparation simple. Attention all doubles vendors and roti makers, try our high quality pre-sifted bromate free all-purpose and whole wheat flour, low price and conveniently packaged. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Chic Leisure Limited, Warrenville, Conopia. Chic Leisure Limited, quality you can trust.
Ronix Premium Quality.
Mitsu Air Limited, authorized Mitsubishi air conditioning dealer. No need to replace your air conditioning units ever so often. Split units, cassette, ductable, CTVIF systems and much more. Mitsubishi Electric has long been powering industries and providing solutions for healthy living. Mitsu Air Limited boasts the industry's first 10-year warranty on all parts and labor. Inverter units are also available. Don't hear it, just feel it. Mitsu Air Limited, 246 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. Give us a call at 674-4000 or 675-4000 or email us at mitsu.limited@gmail.com.
Hey. Hello, good night everyone, welcome back. If you see this bandit approaching your home, please let us know immediately. He is wanted. We've seen him taking items from the studio, interfering with our lighting and so on, and we need to get this issue resolved. Thank you. Come back to me.
Very good, Richard. Very good. No, very good. Thank you, sir. Good. Yeah, well, welcome back. Let's get the slide with the Expo. Do not forget our Expo from July the 17th to the 20th, Baraka Grounds. Book your spot now. Limited amount of spots remaining. Whether you want a 30-foot tent, a 20-foot, 15 or 10, whether you're in the line of clothes, jewelry, anything your business, you're in business with, come down to Baraka Grounds, book your tent, and come enjoy a fun-filled time between the 17th to the 20th. So we'll be looking out for you. We are parking for over 300 cars. So come and have an enjoyable time. And there will be a lot of stuff for the kids. School bags, you'll get school bags at below cost. So don't forget our July Expo from the 17th to the 20th. All right, Richard, which one are we going to now?
Well, this list is real long. I run out of paper. And
all right, well, while you talking, while you looking at that, guys, put the video that I sent you, a short video. This man has been driving so fast, boy.
Yes, Alto. As you can see, aqua trees, they dredging, they clearing the river, I should say. They're clearing the river, which is good. So they're working. If Councillor Adrian is
I did call the councillor name before, so if they're doing it, I should do the same. That is Mr. Adrian Ali. If he's responsible for it, continue your work, sir. You're doing a good job, so let's see how quickly we can get it done. And also the road, Akbar Road, we need to do some little patching on it, because if two vehicles pass in, there are some points where you could probably damage your tires. You could, yeah. And also the holes that I talk about at when you turn off from Medford gas station, opposite SM Jalil warehouse there. It had one hole. They fixed that one. So it have two. Passed recently, it have two. So Ms. Moody now say it have three. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to play three hole. We're going to buy marbles and play three hole now. They're waiting for it to get three hole. Three holes. In Kelly, there is also one. Here now, I drive in maybe 2 cars behind this guy, right? And sorry about that. And I watching the guy driving, I say, oh God, don't tell me he going in that hole. Man, that man left side wheel went in that hole. I surprised he didn't come out somewhere further up the road, you know. It real bad. It is weight. 1 barrel of hot mix is going to take to fix that. There is one at Trinity roundabout by TGI Friday. I see a next one developing. They will wait until that. We go play 3-hole there too. And inside by me, I noticed they're painting all the minor roads to the major road. They're painting white lines. They're painting. Nice thick paint line, Good. But you know when you're coming from Trinity, from the highway to go in Trinity Mall, if you're coming from the north, you could swing left, pay attention to the vehicle that's coming out from the highway from the south side, but you are the right away. They're supposed to put the bold line from right as you turn in, straight down about, I think they just put it about 50 feet. Because some people just stop, and you could blow horn behind them, they're not moving. And it has caused real congestion. So I think we need the white line there. At least earlier, painting white lines, let's do it in critical areas. They're painting any in Felicity?
I don't remember.
Or you have roads still in Felicity?
Railroad, boy.
All right.
The road in the sky and thing. Right. I only get part of the list, But on the topic of financial mismanagement and wastage, people want to know, well, where the money gone or where the UNC going to get the money from. Well, they already said, if we stop paying rent for all them buildings that they call ghost buildings and so on, or rent in places that don't make sense, well, we wouldn't have to pay that money, so we would get money to spend other places. I want to remind this country something, Bear with me. I want to remind this country something. The UNC, off topic, the UNC came to Parliament on their first parliamentary agenda and laid a bill to amend the Children's Life Fund, to expand the availability of funds for life-threatening or life-limiting illnesses in children. Not life-threatening illnesses in adults, a big grown hardback man, but in children, the vulnerable in society. People who can't help themselves, people who rely on others, adults, mothers, fathers, and elected officials to protect them. And I want this country to remember that Kamala Persad-Bissessar, Prime Minister, came to Parliament. She said on the campaign trail, she said in her first post-cabinet briefing that this was going to be her first cabinet minute, her first cabinet note, and this was going to be the first thing she does. And so said, so done. She came to Parliament and sought to amend the Children's Life Fund, increasing the funds, increasing the cap, and giving more authority and leniency to the minister in emergency circumstances. While, of course, balancing the scales with encouraging accountability through, I think it's annual reports or biannual reports. I can't recall right now. But reports nevertheless. In other words, the money is not going to be wasted. And nobody can come and say, well, I have a button on my toe and there's a life-threatening illness. No, it must be certified, medicals, and so on. And I want this country to remember that the PNM voted against that. The PNM voted against helping children, against opening up the fund to children with life-threatening illnesses. They voted against it in the lower house, and believe it or not, the independent senators in the Senate voted against it in the upper house.
9 of them.
You understand that? You understand that? These are people who are telling this country, do not allow children to access this fund, access the grant. The fund as written now, I think was it passed yesterday? It's now passed. Fund, as written now, is accessible to children who are on deathbed. Death is knocking on their door. In cases where the doctor is here and there's no other facility in the public healthcare system that can treat the child, the fund is accessible. In cases where there is no doctor in Trinidad and no facility here, we'll take the child outside the jurisdiction. In cases where there is the facility here but no doctor, we'll bring the doctor here to do the surgery. All right? This is situations where we could make a snap decision and a minister might have to step in and add an illness to the list because we don't know, illness pop up every day. Who knew COVID-19 was going to come out on the 13th of March and surprise all of us? So in those circumstances, I find it gut-wrenching, almost criminal, that people will say no to opening the fund and allowing accessibility the way that it has been proposed. And I'm glad it has been passed. I mean, that's just the way our democracy works. The government has the majority, so it is passed. But it saddens me that on at least 3 occasions, the president of the Senate had to use his casting vote. And it really tells me something about the independent senators. It really tells me something about the opposition senators. Because this is not a bill that put money in people's pocket. This is not a bill. This is not the SRC report that put money in high society pocket. You know, this is a situation where it's a fund, it's money set aside in case somebody needs it. Whenever somebody needs it, it's there. And of course, it has checks and balances. So it's completely gut-wrenching and disheartening, especially when looked at in the context of what I'm about to reveal. In Parliament earlier this week, it was revealed that on short-term contracts, certain persons known to be PNM friends and affiliates were hired on inflated salaries. Anthony Garcia, former Minister of Education, was hired as a technical advisor, forget this, youth training.
And he's about 70 years.
Youth training, you know. When I born, that man was head of tutor, right? And he, $26,000 to advise on youth. Kwesi Robinson, he was the social media point person for the PNM.
He was the chairman of the
Correct.
Regional
And
Corporation.
PNM's chairman for that corporation, $22,000. Laura Lazama Leasing, $22,000 per month.
That's the one who was revoked as a senator.
Correct. She was revoked or she gave up her appointment?
Well, they were going to ask her to resign, so she take front.
Officially, she resigned.
Yes.
So let's say that way.
Yeah.
She resigned. Nadale Young, senator for the PNM, $16,000. Anisha Baksh is her name, $22,000. Clyde Paul, $20,000, and the list goes on. So they want to do that. That's what the PNM do already, you know. That's what we're uncovering as the days go by. So they do that. They're okay with doing that.
That is where the money goes.
But they don't want your child on death row to get money for life-saving surgery. All right? That's where their priorities was. All right? So after that, I don't know what else you want me to say, boy. After that...
Well, here what I'm going to do, I keeping a close eye on them independent senators.
I think you have to do that. I have to get their names. I have to give it that easy.
And we have to keep tabs on them. Let me see how they're voting now.
Yeah, totally.
They look like they just want to be a hindrance. But though we will call them out.
Yeah. Let's go to immoral to pay. Can we go to that, please? Because while we're talking this money talk, I think this is relevant. Immoral to pay, please. Immoral to pay young 1 million in pension. Look who write it.
Israel Raj. Don't call it Israel Khan.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Israel Raja Khan.
Oh, God. SC, Senior Counsel.
Boy. All right, you have your glasses. You could read it better than me.
Right. Well, all I want to say, this is a topic we ventilated already.
Yes.
We ventilated the point that we don't believe that Stuart Young is entitled to such an exorbitant pension, given that he only served substantially in the position for 22 hours. This is Israel Khan, SC, supporting that view. But again, I'm tying it back into the issue of the priority of the PNM insofar as our financial agenda is concerned, our fiscal policies and regulations. They want the money to go in the pension for young. They want the money to go in these people's pockets, former ministers, chairman of corporations and so on, known PNMites, known PNM affiliates. But they don't want the money to be available for children. That making any sense?
Anything that makes sense that when PNM... But I don't know if it was who it was by the Minister of Public Utilities. I didn't really hear it in full. You heard something about crow?
I can't comment.
It
depends on what
with the work.
With
I think concerning his work at CPF. I think is that
right.
I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Right. It was the Minister of Public Utilities making a comment in Parliament.
Yes.
Right. You could repeat the comment.
No, well, that's why I say I'm not sure. I only hear crow, and I don't see Mr. Barry Padera talking. I say, oh God, it had to be CPF. And I didn't rewind to get the full gist set.
Right.
So I say it had to be that you get the job under the PNM.
Right.
This big Sawati driving a Benz and driving company vehicle and cussing people on the highway.
According to our video you saw.
Yeah, according to the video. That if they don't know that he's crow. You understand? So let me see if we go to crow now. We will see according to what happened. Well, boy, I ain't feeling sorry for none of them. How you get a job and you come and get it out now, that was expected.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, so we want to take calls around 9 today, right?
Yeah, early.
So what you want to do? You want to do the break
What about your commissioner? You have nothing to say on your new commissioner of police?
Well, guys, we have a video here, police commissioner. While you cue up the video, let me know when it's ready. I'll just introduce it. Basically, as I understand from the current circumstances, Suzette Martin is being looked at in regards to certain behaviors. In what context, in what capacity, I wait to see. I hold no brief for anybody, but we have to remember what happened with the last commissioner, and we have to, whatever is happening, as a nation, as a conscious nation, as a democratic nation, we have to make sure whatever happens within the realm of due process, all right? To avoid what is ultimately going to be a very costly mistake that the PNM embarked on relative to the last commissioner of police. All right, so let's get the video played, please. Let the country see what I'm talking about.
I would have received a report from a firearms dealer against a Deputy Commissioner of Police, Ms. Suzette Martin. That matter is well voiced in the public domain, and as a result of that, I would have decided to take some decisive action in terms of bringing to the fore accountability and transparency in dealing with the matter.
Right, and this is basically it here. Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara has confirmed that Deputy Police Commissioner Suzette Martin is under investigation.
But Richard, let me ask this from your perspective. Now, it had the incident with Ula. That turned out real bad. Not for Ula, but for the investigating officer. That is, what's his name again? The one who we now showed there. Suzette Martin. Now, I hope the same thing is going to happen. They bring charges against Suzette Martin.
That's what I said. It must happen within the realm of due process. So what happened in that case was that was dismissed because it wasn't reasonable. There wasn't sufficient evidence to lay the charges. So we want to make sure if charges are, I'm not saying it, I don't know, but if charges are laid on Suzette Martin or anybody else in this country, it must be laid with proper investigative. Guys, there's an echo. With proper investigative techniques and where it is likely to result in a conviction. Don't just lay charges on people just...
And they can't bring them no chance to come back and sue and then.
Yeah. So I got permission to say it. The Minister of Public Utilities said in Parliament that a certain contract was renewed for 6 years. 6 years. Somebody who holds a position at CPEP, who you've mentioned,
Right.
Krokro, got his contract renewed for 6 years. That is what the Minister of Public Utilities said. I'm waiting to see if that happened just before the election or when or
right.
in what time frame that renewal took place for. So we'll see how that turns out.
That is interesting.
Very interesting, especially in circumstances where the PNM were allegedly, but no, this one is not alleged. I think paperwork was released on this, hiring people on short-term contracts.
But this one for 6 years?
But this one is 6 years, yeah. No, but the point I was making was you hired them on short-term contract just before the election.
Right.
So was it that there was a renewal across the board? That's my question. So we'll see how that unravels.
All right. So, some issue I wanted to talk about, Richard, I wanted to start on this one earlier with the issue with Iran and Israel, and how easily
it was just before the election. It was just before the election.
This war that recently tapered out with Iran and Israel.
Right.
How easily it took the President of the United States to stop them from for whatever reason, bombing and all that. In this same vein, why he cannot tell Israel to stop slaughtering the people of Gaza? People who going to collect food, children, starving. They're going to collect food, I'm telling you, and every day they're slaughtering people. People who don't have any arms. And you just slaughtering people. So it looked like there's an orchestrated plan just to wipe out these people. And that is so sad. I hope the man above, whosoever responsible for this, they have a slow and painful death. You know? Slow and painful death. Who is responsible for this? You know? Innocent children, boy. I don't know. I honestly, when I watching that, it just really hurt me. People going for a bag of flour, and you actually slaughtering them. I don't know. Yeah, well, let me hear what he was going to talk about, you know.
No, after you say something like that, you put me in a mood.
But little children, boy,
and I've seen the videos. I try. Oh, look, they always move on.
Oh, this one, look, money is died during COVID. Anybody ever accounted for this money? Look at the kind of monies. Look the kind of monies. Received just over $2.3 billion. 400,000 US from CAF. 50 million from CAF again.
And these are grants, right? Not loans. These are...
That was for COVID.
Right.
And where all that money going? I wonder who had to answer, the Minister of Health or the Minister of Finance?
Both. Foreign Affairs too, to everybody in the mix. Prime Minister too.
Well, in both, when you go in and talk your crap in Parliament, mention what you do with all this money for me, please. That is all I want you to do.
Yeah.
Tell us how much money you collected during COVID, and can we have a breakdown where the money went. That is all. I'm sure the people will be happy with that. And, well, you're hearing about the Alsing again. I know where the Alsing is. He in the intensive ward still? Intensive care. Cooking? All right, we could go and pay my visit.
They want to show... Before we do that, could we show lower cement anticipated? I heard Inshan talking about this.
Yeah, Rockard.
Yeah, Rockard distribution set to return. Right. So does this mean that, well, I know the headline says lower cement anticipated, but what, is it that now the market is going to be open to multiple
Well, I don't know if,
cement?
At the time when Rockard was there, we had Rockard and TCL.
Well, we still have TCL, right?
Right, TCL is there still.
Right.
But Rockard was always lower than TCL.
Yeah. Right. So is it going to create a duopoly in the market? So
no, it's better. Competition is good.
Right, so competition will develop.
So you're going to get cheaper cement prices now. So let's see if TCL will remain at $65 or $67. And you will see how because of a monopoly, they did what they did. Now they have competition, they're dropping their prices. We'll wait and see.
Right. Yeah, you come back to us now, guys.
Definitely, what we had to do is find out.
I just saw the heading and I thought it was aligned with something Injan had said. So
I think that right now, from information, I think they're waiting on testing. Because they say the product has to be tested, certified, but their goods are already here.
Right.
So is there some, because they were on the market already.
Right.
So it's just a formality.
If the price of cement drops, then construction will be cheaper.
Definitely.
Right. So then we should have issues like generally speaking, the cost for box drains, road repairs, those kind of things.
And beside
bridges.
that, the cement trucks, where you have your ready mix and your Aliscon and the Kosal and all that.
Right. Everybody will
Price
drop a
is
little bit.
supposed to drop because cement price drop. But some of them might say they're using TCL. They go say they're using Rockard.
Yeah.
So that is the next thing you have to
Yeah. No, well, I mean, once there's competition in the market, it will. I remember the days when we just had TSTT in Trinidad,
Yep.
And our phone, the big phone, that big like this, it was plenty money, and then all of a sudden, Digicel and TSTT, now we had competition. We had two entities in the market. So, prices dropped drastically. But I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see that.
Yeah, that is good. Moody, we have to check and see if they have it on that side. I think it's Ram Hit. I don't know if that is...
yeah, I think I saw that in the article.
The guy is Ram Hit. I'm not sure if he associated with Harry Creed.
I don't know anything about construction and cement.
Yeah, but
hard is my head.
You will need some cement just now.
How?
With the palace you're going to build.
Yeah, why are you saying that? Relax. I'm not building any palace.
Right, so you're getting a chance, cement price is going to drop. So you know what I mean? Instead of 5 bedroom, you could put up 6.
You come in to build it? Right. The slide that they wanted to show, what was it, the scandal, the utility scandal?
Yes.
There we go. Right.
Now, this was forwarded. We are supposed to get some other information on it. But if we scroll down, you will see the Tamana, a scandal at the Tamana, and the documents were directly addressed to the president, the prime minister, and where there was questionable procurement practices, conspiracy, and abuse of office that kept nearly 1.9 billion in taxpayers' money.
Oh God!
That is where the money going. That is in the Komodo side, Tamana. That were E-Tech Park and all them places on that side. But that is something Richard, you had to do some investigation into that. Send your moles and see if we could get.
Only mole I have is one on my leg here, boy.
Right. Okay.
They talked about another slide just now there.
Which one we have?
They said MTS.
MTS?
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay, I remember. I think this issue has been ventilated enough in the last 3 days. It's basically Imbert's allocation of money to fix his office.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
Today. So, no, we can leave that one out for now. Because we're too close to that.
But one thing I heard, he said the deplorable conditions that the staff were working under has been so for 15 years. So, all right, UNC was in office for 5 years, right?
Right.
So Marvin, and who was there before Marvin?
This is public utilities, right?
I can't remember who was there before Marvin.
I don't remember. Off the top of my head,
so
I can't remember.
For over 9 years, you mean to say they do nothing to it and would come for what, 1 week?
1 week.
And spend all that money? And money was given away?
Yeah, and just before the election too, eh? Just before the election too.
Oh, yes. The Ghanaian. That demand self.
Yeah, I think that has been ventilated. I think it came out Sunday or Monday, but I think it
Yeah, more or less.
Ventilated enough.
You want to take a break and come back and take calls?
Yeah, we could go straight to the calls.
All right. Guys, we could take a break and come back and take some calls.
Introducing the finest selection from premium deli and meats. Savor the bold flavors of beef salami, beef pepperoni, and chicken ham. Indulge in our diced beef bacon and perfectly sliced beef bacon. Explore the rich taste of smoked beef and tender roast beef. Treat yourself to our juicy jumbo chicken hot dogs and beef hot dogs. Top it all off with the delicate flavors of smoked turkey breast and our premium whole turkey, all halal certified for your trust. Delivered to you by Chill Foods, Premium Deli and Meats, excellence in every bite.
The power. To shatter the strongest. Conquer the indestructible with Ronix collection of angle grinders.
Chic Leisure Limited, making life easier. Our renowned great tasting vermicelli comes pre-cut in regular and parch, packaged to make preparation simple. Attention all doubles vendors and roti makers, try our high quality pre-sifted bromate free all-purpose and whole wheat flour, low price and conveniently packaged. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Chic Leisure Limited, Warrenville, Conopia. Chic Leisure Limited, quality you can trust.
Ronix premium quality.
Mitsu Air Limited, authorized Mitsubishi air conditioning dealer. No need to replace your air conditioning units ever so often. Split units, cassette, ductable, CTVIF systems and much more. Mitsubishi Electric has long been powering industries and providing solutions for healthy living. Mitsu Air Limited boasts the industry's first 10-year warranty on all parts and labor. Inverter units are also available. Don't hear it, just feel it. Mitsu Air Limited, 246 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. Give us a call at 674-4000 or 675-4000 or email us at mitsu.limited@gmail.com.
Yeah, and welcome back. A show most of you saw in the news today where the students who took advantage of the 15-year-old at Holy Faith. It's Holy Faith Convent, right?
Correct, yeah.
They were arrested, and we will know what is the next step. I don't know if they're going to lay charges or...
Well, first of all, I think a caller had called in and suggested, I think it was last week or the week before, that they were expelled. When I came out of the show, I did a bit more digging, and they were suspended. That's from school. In relation to the police, however, the police have issued summons for each of the girls, each of the 5 girls, and they are supposed to appear, right, here we go. Following inquiries led by WPC Budu of the Couva police station, the 5 suspects ages 14 to 18, all from the Couva district, were formally charged today, June 25th, with assault occasioning actually bodily harm. The TTPS has reaffirmed the zero tolerance policy for violence, particularly in children and so on. So those charges were laid. Those charges were in fact laid, and therefore they do have a date to appear in court. And that's important because now we have a prime minister who has said, listen, we have a no tolerance, I see a caller is on the line. We have a no tolerance approach to crime, and we have the police enforcing that policy, which is very good. Yeah.
All right. Hello. Good evening, caller. Hello.
Hello, good night.
Good night.
Yes, I called to say this. Whenever the PMM is in power, they do not care about people's life. Melissa Ramar. That child born with a very bad heart problem. Ian Allen had it on his television. He begged for that child. That was in Manning days. From beginning to end, it was $100 and something thousand. Government didn't care nothing. They didn't help that child. That child remained dead. Another child, I could get all the information, very good information from Tuna. Then because that child born with such a rare sickness, some problem that they couldn't diagnose that child in the Caribbean. It was on Win TV, it was on the Newsday. That parent dead, and that family dead, under the same money, and it was costing $500,000. They had watched that child and the parent. They had not a land and a little house they were living on, and they had to mortgage that, and they do donation for 3 months, and nobody didn't give them donation.
All right, well,
It was bad, and they go to the Great Osmond Street Hospital in England. That little child gets diagnosed there. That child is 15 years of age. And right now, that child is a bad child working on like that. Is the PNM, dirty ways. They do not help children. They do not help people. You hear one saying that and you live. Thank you.
yes, caller, thank you very much. All right, well, we have changes, so we'll see how it works out from now. Hello, good night, caller. Hello?
Hello, good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night. Thanks for taking the call.
Yeah, no problem, man.
You have a very nice program, very interactive, informative, and you're discussing a lot of vital and important issues. I just want to say, and I am 66 years of age, I must tell me before I say other thing. I want to say to you all, I supported this government, the United National Congress Coalition, in the last election on the 20th of April. I want to put that up front. And you see, I have no problem at all with the policies of the government in removing people who supported the policies of the PNM, the last government.
Correct.
I have no problem in these people is being removed. For instance, everybody wants to be in alarm that the central bank governor was removed. Look at how much things went on under him, under his watch. How much wrong things went on under his watch. And they want them to keep him on. Look at what you've messed in WASA. Look how much money they're paying this foreigner. Eh? And I am saying, the people who calling and saying that they're cleansing and all this kind of thing, let them cleanse out the place. Because we see it now, and as you all make the point tonight, look how this first order paper, the Honorable Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bisasa sent to the Parliament was the amendment to address for the Children Life Fund to deal and save children. What a noble woman. What a noble Prime Minister. And I really will be watching these independent senators because I can't see why so many of them will vote against that bill. I don't understand it. I'm very, very baffled tonight. But I'm saying you have to remove them to get progress, remove them. And anybody, I'm making a clarence call from this television station tonight. Anybody want to get in the way of the government and carry out their policies for the country, they will be met with swift justice to get them out. Get them out, because a lot of them will be trying to sabotage this government progress. This government is in power before, from 2010 to 2015, and the progress this country see, and so many places were developing. You can imagine if they had gotten that 10 years, like what is wicked, evil, and heartless PNM had for 10 years, and all they did, and everything is being exposed. Feeding friends and a frenzy, look how much names all they're calling, they're getting money. I have so many young people who have degrees and things, and walking around Port of Spain and Sanford, I know all about, with their envelopes in their hand, looking for a job, and they haven't gotten no job. And then some of them who retire already, Only the 80s and things, and they still had them on place and giving them salary. That is wrong. And I want the government to investigate all the people over 70 and things, get them out and employ young people. Thank you very much.
All right, caller. Thank you. Hello, good night, caller. We have a next caller. Hello. Hello, good night, caller.
Hello, good night, gentlemen. How are you all tonight?
Fine, and yourself?
Not too bad. I just have one problem, and I don't know if you all can help me address this.
Well, we have an eminent attorney here. I'm sure we have no problem in that.
Legal problem.
These drop low car on the road, is it legal or illegal?
That's supposed to be illegal.
You ever drive behind one?
It didn't come that way. They modified the vehicle because these drop low can't even go over the smallest hump.
When they're going over the hump, they do not crisscross, right?
Yes.
It happened to me, and you know what the man tell me? You should have hit me.
No, I just watch some of them, and if you can't tell them nothing, yeah, some of them muffler dragging, and they're going over the hump.
But then we need to get this thing, get these cars off the road. It don't make sense.
No, well, caller, you remember all vehicles have to be inspected. So
how they pass an inspection?
Exactly, they have to find out how they pass in inspection, how they get in the sticker.
The slightest little thing on the road, they're stopping, and if you hit them from behind, you're wrong, you know.
Yeah. So, and they have so much police in the road, they will look at your tent and they will see a vehicle dragging on the road, and they wouldn't stop them.
Yeah.
That is what's going on.
Have a blessed night.
Yeah, man. Hello, good night, caller. Hello?
Hello, good night. How are you?
Yeah, good night. Good man. Go ahead.
All right, I just reading this out, right? Please highlight to the powers that be the unfair and unreasonable affairs occurring within the Immigration Division, with specific respect to the holding back of much-needed funds to officers and the awarding of exorbitant and impossible sums of money to a select few. The upper management, accounts section, and human resources section must be observed carefully, and an immediate audit be initiated on the going runs with respect to the allocation of taxpayers' monies for the compensation of a great majority of immigration officers who are currently eking out an existence and working under economic oppression. Again, a humble call to the line minister for immigration, and urgent cleanup and balancing is needed, please. Thank you.
That falls within national security, immigration.
Well, Homeland Affairs.
Yeah, it's Mr. Alexander.
Roger Alexander.
Yeah.
All right, caller. I'm sure somebody will give him the message, or he himself probably listen. So have no fear.
Yeah, I think I was trying to remember if I saw it this week in our papers or some foreign papers, but headline in yesterday's papers wasn't sniffer dogs assigned to the airport.
Yes.
So caller, I think we are seeing some sort of, we're going to deal with low-hanging fruit first, sniffer dogs. But I do know that immigration workers issues are long-standing issue.
We are on a real trip.
Yeah,
and it's not about back pay. It's about things that are due to us that we are not getting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I appreciate the position, but give them some time, because that seems like something that you're talking about a whole overall of the system, investigation, or audit, and then recommendations have to be adopted and so on. So that sounds like it takes some time. But we do see, I did see it in the papers today, that there are sniffer dogs in the airport now. So we are seeing some level of improvement insofar as the airport is concerned. In other aspects too of the entire government. But I want to assure you that...
I want some eyes on that division.
What's that? I hardly heard you there, caller.
No, I said I want some eyes in the right direction on this division.
Well, you are saying it on air. Mm-hmm. I'm sure somebody is listening, and they'll see what they can do. Right, caller?
One can hope. Thank you.
Okay, yes, caller.
Sure, no problem. Let's see the other call.
We missed that. Hello, good night, caller. Hello.
Hi, good night.
Good night. Go ahead.
I am listening to your program and with regards to the caller, that call with regards to the drop low cars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
Where the head of the institution that governs those type of vehicles, which ensures that the vehicles are all up to the manufacturer's spec, where the Transport Commissioner is not the competent authority to inspect a vehicle. He doesn't even have a qualification to inspect or oversee a junior officer that inspects a vehicle. So how come where the leader, there's a perfect case where the leader cannot lead?
All right, caller, thanks. Thanks. So the views and expressions made on in Pauline program are not the views of IBN or breaking barriers.
Yeah, take this one, Richard.
Yeah.
This one is for you.
Yeah. And I don't mean to be offensive. I think we just have to do it because he made an allegation against his qualifications as opposed to something he knows firsthand. So, caller, that's the only reason why. Good night, caller. Welcome, salam.
Hi, good evening, Richard. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
I just wanted to highlight the main road in Chaguanas. You're a central person, so you know what I'm talking about. This road has been in this condition for as long as I can remember. And, you know, they're just patching the holes into humps now. There's the street on the side of the gas station that takes you around to go through by Center City there. There's a ditch, a literal ditch, where, you know, for whatever reason, they keep fixing it and it just keeps coming back up. I don't know why they have not even attempted to do anything with the main road in Chaguanas or all these back roads that if they fix these feeder roads, it will alleviate the traffic in Central. Just saying if you can get that across the relevant authority. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is Ministry of Works or Corporation?
If it's the main road, I think it's the Ministry of Works. But not only that, but currently Savannah Road, left-hand side, opposite the Chinese restaurant in front of the church, there's a big hole. I think that's at least 6 inches deep. When that goes down, you hear it in the back of your car. Ramstrand Street, when you're driving on that, it's like you're playing Mario Kart or F1. You have to be swerving left and right. So the roads are really, really, really bad. I totally agree with the caller. I mean, in all fairness, that's not limited to Chaguanas or Central. That's nationwide. So it's no excuse that an epidemic exists nationwide, why it needs to continue and persist. But I do think it is an issue that will be resolved in time.
Exactly.
It will take time to resolve, I should say.
I say we look at the critical ones.
Yeah.
And if each corporation decide to fix a couple roads.
Yeah. Well, I promised to address that, right, some time ago, and I'm still working on the figures and the statistics. But I think if you give more leniency to local government entities, more access to their own funds, allow them to generate their own revenue and use their own revenue as they see fit, we will see road paving and so on happening. For example, if a corporation is running a car park, they should get the income from that car park. It shouldn't have to go to central bank. You know, they're not motivated to generate their own revenue. But I'll address that at another time. Good night, caller.
Hello.
Hello, gentlemen. Good night.
Good night,
caller.
First of all, I would like to commend Julian John for the excellent work that she's doing.
Real hard worker, caller. When I wake up in the morning and I check my phone, she already do 2 hours of work, you know.
Exactly.
From 6 in the morning, and then when I reach home and I done shower and I have a little sada and tomato stroker, and I watch my phone, she's still in meeting, you know.
Yes, she is. So
hard worker indeed. But go ahead, caller. Sorry.
Yes, that's all right. So to the caller who was previous to me, in time, give her some time, and I'm sure she's going to address every situation. Yes. I want to commend her, especially that Perseverance Road to get away from the traffic from Central. That road is so hazardous to drive on. But recently I passed and I saw a lot of work was done. It was repaved and I felt really good. And my question is, what was stopping the previous government from doing these bare essentials to make people's lives better?
They didn't have money. They didn't have money because they was giving it to Anthony Garcia, Kwesi Robinson, Laurel Azama Leasing, Nadale Young, and so on and so forth. They was giving it to in rent and so on. That was the problem.
That's right.
So losing cases in court and having to pay millions in legal fees to external attorneys and then paying the cost to the lawyer on the other side.
That's right. And remember, it's not just Lauren Lizama and a few. It was 61 people got positions there.
Correct.
So multiply that by $22,000 or $20,000 per month.
And that's only what we know about now, eh?
That's right. And secondly, I agree with the second caller. You see, all those who are causing or who's trying to sabotage this government, get rid of them, because the UNC and the coalition of interest may have good intentions, but they if they are continuing to come up against resistance, they have to make one fundamental change, in my opinion, to really help the situation, and that is the PSA, together with the PSA, and I'm glad that Felicia Holt Thomas is a part of this coalition, because very often public officers are not held accountable for the core service that they offer to members of the public. Public officers must recognize that having employment in the government service is an honor to serve. And therefore, I am hoping that new policies are put in place where if an officer is deliberately trying to sabotage and not doing their work and so on, that they can be fired. It must not be that, oh, I have a government work and nobody can touch me. That has to stop, because the system, this thing that we call the system that is giving poor service to almost all the ministry, is made up of people who just simply have your file on their desk doing nothing, people who refuse to do their work. So I believe in time, all that needs to be changed. Little by little, people need to have a new mindset, and that's the only way that this country can go forward for the benefit of all people. Right? So, gentlemen, thank you for this opportunity to share a few words and keep on doing the good work. And tonight, I want to also extend wishes to Brother Inshan. Brother Inshan, you are always in my prayer, and I pray that you're doing well. Good night, gentlemen.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, caller.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good night.
Good night, sir.
Right. When government change, it is a norm to change all boards, whether it's state board, Bristol board, or fly board. All board have to go.
Or iron board.
You all have to, because policy, those are the policies of the PNM government, and this is policies of the UNC government now. That's point number one. Second point, why there's only under PNM, the EBC boundaries have changed. It is time to move from 41, in my opinion, to 45. Suppose have a Cuba Central, a Shogona Central, you could probably put one to Tobago Central, Tabaki supposed to take a next one, and probably some in Marbella take a next one. It's time, you understand what I'm saying? And thirdly, the Antica Association. We need to regularize this association, bring in more. This could be a revenue earning venture for the Anticas. You know what I mean? Anticas. We need more Anticas. Let the Minister of Trade and Transport, put a policy that a person could import every 10 years one car older than 10 years. You know what I mean?
You're talking about
a multi-million-dollar industry.
You're talking about antique cars.
Yes, sir.
Antique, okay.
All right, okay.
Appreciate the 3 points, caller.
Richard has one to sell an antique. I don't know if you might be interested in it.
Oh, that's a Zabuka.
Elaborate on these 3 points for me. I hope Mrs. Kamla Prasad is hearing me tonight. And we can get more cement importers too, not only Rockland and TCL. We need a third one.
All right.
All right, caller. I appreciate it.
Take care. Have a blessed night. Good job. Keep it up.
Have another one with him.
Hello, good night, caller.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good night, caller. You're live. Welcome, sir.
Yeah. Good night to you, good gentlemen.
Good night.
Right. Here I have two concern problems that is really bothering me a bit. Right? And the first one is that hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're live. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. The first one is, they had the voting in the Senate the other evening. I was just browsing through and I was seeing it, and to see those independent senators. Now, I have no problem. They are independent senators. I know they have to have their conscience and vote, right? And
But you know what's amazing? Is that all of them, if I am not mistaken, there's 9 of them,
Right.
and they all voted together with the opposition.
Right.
And that is really alarming to me. I'm not saying that they have to be with the government, but they have their conscience, you know, and as the speaker was saying, the chairman, Mr. Mark, and he was explaining why he did the status quo. And he explained to Mr. Alwari, but Mr. Alwari seems to know that if he is the boss, and Mr. Mark has to let him know, hold up, I am in charge here.
Yes.
And I had a vote, and I did the vote, and he's telling Mr. Mark now, but you didn't put it to the House. He said, I can do that at any time. I had a vote, and I did my vote. And that was that. But Mr. Richard, I wanted to ask you something personal, sir.
Go ahead, yeah.
Mr. Akash Samaru, did I don't know if you saw it, he did over the weekend, I presume, at the alma mater at El Dorado School. And he gave the future address. And it was alarming. I cannot repeat the exact words he said, but from the gist of it, he is saying to the public that when he is doing interviews now, and he's talking about honorables, that these new people, which is the government at present, he cannot see that he is calling them honorables. I wonder where Akash Samaru was living. I wonder what he was doing for the last 10 years. I know he has to do his dues to get a space because he is CNC3. You know, I would like you, sir, if you could get that video.
Clip.
You know, he did it over the weekend, and you can look at it, sir. And you can comment next weekend. And that is very troubling for me as a reporter, as a journalist. You know, that the steps that these people are taking. I thank you all for listening to me, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome. Drop low video, TT.
You have a video, apparently.
All right, you ready? Let me see. Wait, how about this one? Watch. He almost touching the arm.
With the tire.
Dragging on the arm, road. He can come over there, watch. Watch. These fellas of them had to be... You know, they really have money to just keep buying all those, the side skirts and things, because that is rip-off. The muffler. They go in a whole rim. They're working to spend money on those vehicles?
I didn't grow up in an environment where that was encouraged. So I know very little of those things, and I can't comment.
I like original vehicles. You see how the vehicle come?
Yeah.
The most time I do, same rim, I'll put a slightly wider tire.
With a lower profile?
No.
Profile,
I like plenty tire, because in Trinidad you have to have plenty tire to go in a pothole. Otherwise you could damage your rim. So I will just take a tire that is a little wider, and I'm happy with that. No problem. And a tire does last me about 3 years.
You know, after I left the cook on Saturday, a piece of iron went up in my tire. Close to home, though. Close to home.
So we had to buy a tire?
No, they're not patching it from the inside, but it was a sheet of galvanized, basically, you know. I don't know what I was doing in the road. Thank God it happened close to home. But I did tell Daddy if that happened closer to here, I would have leave with 4 new tires.
I don't think we have tires here.
Oh.
We'll send you home with the motorbike.
Probably. Somebody would have dropped me home.
Yeah, how you mean? No, but in the night now, even though you get a flat tire, you have to drive with it and hope that it will damage your rim, because you can't stop to even repair a tire. They could beat you and take away your vehicle and whatsoever. You know, you're a man that have a little $20 in your pocket. They could want to take that too.
It's only $20. I could show you.
You know what I mean? So all them things you have to be careful about.
Yeah.
So this year at the Expo, you're coming to spend some time with us.
Always.
I mean a little more time.
Yeah, of course.
Right, so folks, you hear it, Richard coming at the Expo. The Expo will be held from the 17th to the 21st. You will see the big 30 by 30 tent. You will also see the Ronex tent. A lot of tools will be going on sale, below cost. You just come on the any day. We'll be opening like from around 10, 11 in the morning and going straight up until about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And if you all come out and want to buy all this stuff, we'll go later. We'll have some, Richard will probably do some bargains, Richard?
Anything you want. Yeah.
Right. So don't forget the Expo, folks, on the 17th to the 20th. And I see it's about 9:27. Richard, do you have anything you want to discuss further?
I think if I start another issue, I'll end up going over. But at the end of the day, I think the country made the right choice in dismissing the PNM and accepting the UNC and the coalition of interest. And I think what we're seeing now are a series of positive changes for the country. Some may view it as slow, but I mean these are things that have been wrong with society for decades. And that's got really, really bad over the last 10 years, especially. Crime and health are like the main two examples of those things. So I think what we are going to see is little incremental changes in those large issues, but overnight changes in the low-hanging fruits, dogs in the airports, and, for example, policy changes and proper enforcement in TTPS and school violence, those kinds of things. So I look forward to seeing what can happen. You are correct, and usually are, in saying that we as a nation have to always hold those in power accountable. And the minute they slip,
yes,
we will be the first to call them out on it.
Either side of the fence, you slip, we're calling you out one time.
Yeah.
Like for instance, I heard Mr. Alexander talk about the drug that these school children are using.
Right, the helium thing in the balloon.
Yes, in the balloon.
Right, yeah. And he has information that it's in the country and is looking into
it's
it.
made for, I'm not into these drugs and things. Some name he call it, and they put it into the balloon, they put the gas into it.
Right.
And they inhale that and get a little head and thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what trouble is this, boy?
Yeah. So I think the serious changes needs to be...
But where these drugs coming from?
There's a whole different question. Maybe we had the scanners on the port or the scanners in the airport. Because we didn't grow it here.
But one thing, how often is we going in town? Often?
Once or twice a week.
When you reach by the beach,
right,
and you watch on the right-hand side where it had the wall of shame, I want you to watch carefully and see how many structures have been erected on that wall that they put to block off when Obama was coming.
Right.
So they won't see the squalor the people were living under. Watch that wall that the government put up there and see how many structures are on that wall. And nobody is doing nothing about it. Those are illegal structures. Every one of them. Where they get in electricity, where they get in water, that is a sewer area. You see, this is lawlessness that's been going on, and it looked like a particular area could do something, and nobody could do anything. That is the problem I just have. Whether you're from east, west, north, or south, you're breaking the law, deal with them. Be it who.
Yeah, even if it's a school child.
Anybody.
Anybody.
Deal with them.
Yeah.
So I would leave with that, folks. I hope the information that we gave you tonight was correct. Most of the times we are correct. Almost all the time we are correct.
Sometimes I could even predict the future.
Right. So I just want to say good night to you all. Just be safe outside there. And we'll see you next week. We'll catch you next week. Richard?
Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to watch the rerun Saturday 9 p.m.
9 p.m.
Saturday, 9 p.m. And we would be going... I'll hold that for now. I say no more on that for now. All right? Good night, everyone. We'll see you again next week.
Wait.
happen to me. This waiting comes with trials and challenges. Nothing in life is free. I wish that